welcome to You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things. My name is Jaimelyn Gray. I'm here to talk to you about Milwaukee Theatre Alliance, companies and other things that we have going on here in Milwaukee and a little bit beyond, just a little bit, just a little tiny bit. I am raring to go today. Got my protein shake with me, and I've got my reading glasses on my head just in case I need them because my eyes are getting old and tired. But thank you so much for coming today and sharing a little bit of your time with me, even if I can't see you. It's always nice. The thought of having people out there interested in art things, theater things in Milwaukee very much excites me, and I'm excited to share it with you. So there we go. Okay, so we do have before we get into our interview today with George Lorimer from Vanguard Milwaukee, who will be talking or did talk to me about All Is Calm, their fourth year of All Is Calm. It's a great new tradition here in Milwaukee. Oh, beautiful. Just beautiful voices. And we'll talk all about that in the interview. But before we get to that, there are quite a few things still happening here in December, so you should plan your calendar accordingly. We do have some things closing this weekend, so there's your last chances for those types of things. So let's get to that and talk a little bit more about that. So first of all, we have over at Next Act Theater, we have Boswell, which is by Marie Kohler. We did have an interview a couple weeks ago. I was with Marie Kohler talking about Boswell, so you can go back in our archives and find that and talk and hear me talk about that. So that's closing this weekend. If you have not snuck in there to get your seat, this is your last chance. But you should really listen to that interview from Marie Kohler because it's really an interesting conversation. This has been really a 20-year journey to make this particular iteration, which is a Wisconsin premiere, happen, and it's just a really great story. And but this iteration, it's when ambitious 20th century academic Joan goes looking for unpublished writings by literary giant Samuel Johnson. She finds her work interrupted by James Boswell. It's kind of like this time travel kind of thing, which is fun. It takes Joan back in time and to talk to these people, and it's super fun. So you should check that out, and you can go to nextact.org to find out more information about that, or get your tickets, or whatever you need to do is at nextact.org. And yeah, like I said, this is it. So make sure you get your butts in there and check that out. So then next we have a weekend event. It's this weekend only. Amanda J. Hull, who is an independent artist with us with the Milwaukee Theatre Alliance. This is the second or third year that she's making this happen at the Brick House. The Brick House is the venue that she owns with her husband, and they're doing this holiday makers market that should be super fun. I wish I could do this. I do some embroidery myself, and I can't crank out things to share with people at a fast enough pace to do this makers market. I also bake too. And so maybe next year, if we're not doing Deadly Holiday, well, no, we're not, because we're going to do Deadly Holiday. So maybe some year I will be able to delegate enough to get to this holiday makers market is my plan here. So, but Amanda Hull does this, and there's soap and photography and fiber art. I was reading that there's one person there with this fiber art who does like crocheting and knitting, and then she also does cross stitch. I did cross stitch when I was a kid too. Now I've moved into embroidery. The very similar veins, very, very, it's all like fiber art adjacent is what it is. And so if you would like to find out how to get there or any of those things, you can go to the brickhousemke.com. It's up there on Center Street. Cute. It's a really cute little venue. You should check it out if you haven't had the opportunity. But again, that's this weekend only. That's the 13th and 14th, Saturday and Sunday. And it's free entry, but it's a suggested donation of 2 drive items. So I'm assuming like canned goods and things like that to share with people. That's the best part of the holiday season is the giving. Giving is the best part. And so there is that. So then next we have over at Skylight, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dream Coat. If you have not seen this, I recommend it to you. I personally have seen it 3 times in my lifetime. If you go back and watch the interview with Michael Unger about this production, I share a story about how it's possible that I may have, in fact, seen Michael Unger's wife perform in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in 1992. Yes, I am that old, hence the reading glasses on my head. And so there's a funny story about that if you go back and watch that from a few weeks back when I was talking with him. But if you don't know this story, it centers around Joseph. Yes, the Bible Joseph, and his journey and how he was thrown out by his brothers and his jealous brothers and sold into slavery. And then he gets caught up with the Pharaoh, and it's got great music. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber, so hello. And then Stephanie Stasek does the choreography for this production, also a superstar of Milwaukee theater. So you can check that out as well. So you can go to smtmke.org to Skylight Music Theatre. It's a theatre. MKE.org, smtmke.org to check out more information about Skylight and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's going to go all the way through the end of the month, so you've got some time on that. So, like if you're planning your weekend calendar and things like that, if you're planning your schedule out, you got pieces here. And then, so this you can put off for a little bit. Then next we have Murder Girl. It's finally closing. The Murder Girl. And it has to, because I know the show that's going in after it is The Constructivists, and it's our very deadly constructivist holiday, and we move in on Sunday, so they have to close this weekend in order for us to do that. I think I don't know. I haven't talked to Brent, but he may actually extend if he had the chance to. But if you don't know the story yet, it takes place at a supper club, and it's got a whole bunch of like inside, sort of Wisconsin-y joke kind of things. This is a Wisconsin. No, it's not a Wisconsin premiere, because I think they did this at. Never mind. Never mind what I say. And it takes place at a up in the North Woods at Marty's Supper Club, and there's skeletons in the closet, and Leanne comes home for the holidays and trying to help her twin brother keep the family business alive. And then there's the ins and outs of, fun storytelling from there. So if you want to grab the last tickets for that, you can go to MilwaukeeChamberTheater.org. That's Milwaukee Chamber, but that's a TRE, theatre.org, to get tickets and more information about that. Again, that's also closing this weekend, so plan accordingly. And then last but certainly not least, and it's actually not because I just thought of something else, and I won't be able to. I don't think I'll be able to. Hold on one. Yeah. Let me try to do multiple things at once here. So Interchange Theater Co-op is our improv persons over there at the Interchange Theater. That's TER. And they've got a couple of things happening this weekend. Busy bar with the Interchange players and father figures and their Swift Prov. So the busy bar is what happens when two guys who have never met before meet in a bar that's busy. It's a two-man show, busy bar. Two people only. There won't be a third person that shows up, and they say that would be crazy. So that is Friday, and then Saturday they have their father figures improv team with some locals, and come for the dad jokes, stay for the chaos. Hilarious. And then there's Swift Prov. They're supported by Swift Prov, improv based on Taylor Swift songs. So I'm sure some of you out there would enjoy that very much. I was going to try to find here because I just remembered the one thing that I didn't put in this lineup is Deadly Holiday. And because Deadly Holiday, A Very Deadly Constructivist Holiday, which is the show that my company, The Constructivists, now do. This is our third year that we're doing this. It's dark and funny, and it's based on the 7 deadly sins with music. December 18th through 20th. So that opens next week, Thursday. And I hope that you will come and see it and share in the fun with us, because it's a crazy fun time. We open with Lust this year, and it's hot and sexy. So and very funny because it has Rudolph's reindeer nose in it. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it. But you should come and see it if you have the opportunity to do so. You should do so. So there you have it. There you go. That's what we have going on. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I have one more thing to share with you. It is it's AIDS Awareness Month. There are some organizations that have decided that we're not going to talk about World AIDS Day, which is traditionally December 1st. So I missed the World AIDS Day, but it's observed this whole month. And so you should go to worldaidsday.org to learn more information about it. But HIV and AIDS is still a thing. There are lots of people living with HIV and AIDS, and it is not going away. It has not been solved. It is still a factor in so many people's lives. And I just want to be part of the awareness team, letting you know that it's good to have some awareness, donate where you can, and be a force of good in this lifetime. Okay? If you can. So go to worldaidsday.org to find out more information about that. So there's that for today. And now we're going to go to that interview with George Lorimer and talk about All Is Calm, the 4th year of All Is Calm. And there you go. Well, let's do that right now. Well, with me today, I have the most wonderful George Lorimer here today to talk about a really, really great production that I'm so glad you all are bringing this back every year. It's just a wonderful piece of art that people should get out and see in this holiday season. So thank you so much for being available today in your tech sometimes nightmare place that you are in this week. So thank you so much, George, for making some time for You've Got a Thing.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Jaimelyn. Thank you for the wonderful intro as well.
Well, you just are out there rocking and rolling, and so I'm glad that that people get to see your face come out of the darkness of the theater for a few minutes and talk to the internet lands and make sure that people know what's going on. So you remind me again when you guys are opening for reals.
Yes, so our production of All Is Calm opens on December 11th, so that is tomorrow at time of recording.
Yes.
And then we run through December 22nd at Calvary Presbyterian Church here in Milwaukee.
Yes. So it's go time. It really
Yes.
is go time. And so we were just talking about how this is your 4th year. This is a thing now. Yes. So can you just give a real quick overview of what All Is Calm is really about?
Yeah, so All Is Calm tells the true story of the World War I Christmas truce, in which in the opening months of the war, German and British troops were sent to France. It was trench warfare. They were stuck close together, and towards the holidays, they start singing songs towards each other. They start trading carols, starting to trade jokes and building rapport. And on Christmas Eve, one German soldier steps out into no man's land singing Silent Night and eventually is met by the British, who meet them in no man's land and decide to stop the fighting for Christmas Day. And it's an incredible story. It's a truce that was built from the bottom up instead of the top down. And it is really this wonderful story of redemption, camaraderie, goodwill, generosity that is told through music. So much of the show is composed of carols, patriotic songs, Christmas carols that you'll all know, because music was core to this event. It was that universal language that got these two opposing sides talking to each other and fostered this truce.
Yeah, it's a real amazing story of humanity is really what I got from that experience. It's a really beautiful, just wonderful sound that comes out of how many cast members do you have?
So this year we have 10 cast members, and I think a lot of people comment on that as well, in that it is a really unique piece in that it was originally written as a radio play. And so it feels somewhere between a choral concert, an operetta, and a play with music, in that the harmonies and the orchestration is so much more complex than what you might normally get in your standard musical theater piece.
Yeah, it does not feel musical theater to me.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a play with music to me.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion. But it's so lovely and beautiful, and the sound that you get from the church environment from that, I can't, it's hard to describe. You just have to go and see it and be there, because there's like this enclave that you all sit in and perform in, and it just pushes out this beautiful sound right to your face that you just have to experience at least once in your life to really get the whole experience of All Is Calm. It's really beautiful and lovely.
Yeah, the church is a really wonderful spot. I think it works so well for that music, in that those big chords can ring out and resonate in that space. And then it's also quiet enough that sometimes those pianos and those pianissimos can really just land with a whisper. And so it gives our cast such a great range to play, to can show all of these emotions that these characters go through in the war. The excitement, the fear, the rage, the sadness, the homesickness, the hope, it's all there, and it can all be expressed through that music in the space.
Yeah, yes, all of that. Can you talk a little bit about, you have one of my favorite people on the whole entire planet directing this year. Can you talk a little bit about having Jaimelyn Gray come on and direct this piece this year?
Absolutely. Yeah, we are working with Jaimelyn Gray, artistic director of Milwaukee Opera Theater, as our stage director for this year's production. And I thought Jaimelyn was a really wonderful choice for this show, in that she has worked on a number of sort of unorthodox pieces of music, like
Yeah.
All Is Calm, these sort of a cappella choral pieces, and is such a wonderful director in the way that she can direct an incredible performance through music.
Yeah.
If anyone's ever worked with her before, you know that she can read a score like a piece of text and find all of those, clues and cues that are going to create a great and moving performance in an actor, which you need in a good director. And especially for her, as someone who's seen a number of her productions, I love the creativity that she brings to every show that she works on, her way that she can reimagine a show, but also finding something that's creative and simple at the same time. And I think audiences will really be struck by this sort of new restaging of this show. If you've come to see it before, I encourage you to come see this year's show. And really, I think her direction finds this emotional resonance and a level of stillness that I think is so core to this show.
That's superb. I love her work as well, and so I'm very interested to see if I can squeak in there what she has done with the production this year. And I think that's a good way to talk about how things are different from year to year, and why should people see this more than once. It's because it's the same piece, but each person who's directing has a different eyeball on how to present the piece, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I think audiences are really going to be moved by Jaimelyn's take on the show. And as people have known through previous years, we always have sort of a rotating cast, just based on people's availability.
Yeah.
And so this year we have about 5 returning cast members and about 5 new cast members from various years. And so you'll see people take on new roles. In my time attending rehearsals, I've seen actors put new spins on characters that I never would have thought of, even roles that I played when I was a cast member. And that is really fascinating, just to see how, 2 people can take on the same text and have, wildly different interpretations of it. And so for people who have seen this show before, I think you'll get to see new things that you might not have seen in previous years. And for new folks, you'll get the pleasure of experiencing this wonderful piece for the first time, which I'm jealous of.
It's one of the best things about theater, the different interpretations of the same piece that you can get across time. I think it's wonderful and amazing. Who are some of the people that you have this year? Who's joining you this year?
Yeah, some of our new folks include some Milwaukee Theater staples that you might have seen, including Ryan Kappelman, who's done a number of shows at Milwaukee Rep, Northern Sky, Zach Woods, a regular around town at First Stage and Skylight and other theaters here, as well as some new faces, like one of our younger cast members, Hugo Dumbs, who is currently a student at UW Parkside, but I think is a real rising star in the Milwaukee theater scene. Nicholas Lynn, who is a opera singer who's done work at the Florentine, as well as Eddie Lupella, who's done a lot of choral work with choirs like Chanteclair here in town. And so there's a range of new faces that we're bringing to the show, as well as returning cast members, folks like Seth K. Hale, who was in our very first production of All Is Calm, Dan Kirkman, who was in our production 2 years ago, and a number of others. And so there's a really great range of talent here. And what I love about this show is there's a nice mix as well of you have your classical opera singers in this show, you have musical theater people, you have actors who are really great with accents and dialects and characterization. And so I love the way in that this show brings together different mediums and different talents to create this beautiful piece.
I love that variation as well. Just to listen to the different ways that people come at this is a wonderful, because you can kind of pick up on a little bit of the differences in the approach, and that's so interesting to listen to, and it really enhances the experience of the process. Do you want to talk a little bit about how did you do an audition process? Like how does that work? Or did you put out invitations to people and then you audition some others, or how did you do that process this year?
Yeah, it's always a funny thing recasting a show that has, been previously done before, as many theaters do, with sort of reoccurring productions. And so we have that talent pool of, previous talent that we've worked with and love to work with and want to work with again. And so normally, we'll, extend offers to people that we would love to have come back. And then always it's a question of, who's open, who's available, who's interested in coming back. And so normally most years we have about half returners come back from the previous show. And then we do an audition process. We audition people, I believe, in August for the show. And, our director, Joanna, said she knew that she wanted to hear people sing and wanted to hear people sing a cappella. And also we wanted to make sure that people could handle the text of the show and the dialects, in that the dialogue of the show is completely composed of firsthand accounts of the truth. So, letters, diary entries, journals, newspapers. If audiences are familiar with the Laramie Project, it's very much that found theater. And so we really audition people to run them through the gamut of like, can you sing? Can you sing a cappella, which is a very different skill set? Can you sing in harmony with other people? We had people sing from the show with other people holding down, the tenor or bass part, and have them sing baritone in the middle. And so it was really about finding people who met those skill sets, but also could work as part of an ensemble, because more than anything, it's about that blend. It's about that unity. And it's about being able to lock in with the other members of your group, because they're all they've got up there. Audiences are always blown away that we don't have a conductor for the show. And so the guys are getting their cues from each other. They're setting the tempo together. And this piece is so fragile, in that if somebody misses a cue, if somebody's iffy on the pitch, it can really fall apart so quickly. And there is nothing worse than listening to out of tune a cappella music. And so it's
not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
And you will not hear that if you come see the show. But it is really fragile, and that's what's so precious about this piece. And we really wanted to make sure we found people who were not only skilled performers, but also were good listeners and could really be a team player in this show.
Yeah, I can feel that from my experience with the show. Why do you think that people should see this version this year?
Yeah, this year's production, I think, is going to be our best show yet. I think in terms of the talent that we have both on stage and off stage. We keep building on this show. We continue to build our sets and costumes, adding to that verisimilitude. And I think this show this year is really going to have that level of emotional resonance that the text requires. And especially in this year where I think, the world is scary and we worry about the future and we are so often told to hate our neighbor. This is a show that says emphatically that we are more alike than we are different. And the perceived enemy across from us wants the same things that we do. They want peace. They want to be with their family. They want to be safe. And so this show really encourages you to reach out a hand to other people in the world and to know that even in the darkest of times, goodwill and peace is possible.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, it is. Just saying. So if people, where can people get their tickets again, my friend?
Yes. Tickets can be found on our website. That is vanguardmke.com. We have got $10 artist tickets available at the door for all of our shows. Those are student artist tickets. Those are available at the door. You can't buy them online, but you'll have to come to the church pending availability. We also have our Pay What You Can Industry Night. That is Monday, December 15th at 7:30. We don't sell tickets for that show. RSVPs are appreciated but not required. And so all the tickets are sold at the door, and that is name your price. And so you can pay $1 to see the show. You can pay $100 to see that show, whatever you feel like it is worth. And so that's a great way. And we have a lot of industry folks coming out to that night as well. And so it's kind of be a fun way to mix and mingle with a lot of the folks in the Milwaukee theater scene as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A great facilitation of connection.
Mm-hmm.
You are, my friend. Great. I'm hoping to catch us. You know how hard it is when you're in production yourself. And I have said, I want somebody to go out and see All Is Calm and then come to Deadly Holiday and let me know. And you can do this on the 20th of December. We have one show where you can go and see the matinee of All Is Calm, and then you can come over and see Deadly Holiday at 8 p.m. I want somebody to do that and share with me the experience of the full breadth of the holiday season here in Milwaukee. To have that experience of this wonderful choral experience, and then a very kick you in the nuts. laugh at humanity. So you can breathe with humanity and laugh at humanity all in one day. I hope somebody does it.
We contain multitudes. And if you, the viewer, yes, I'm talking to you, want to do that, please take a picture of both your playbills and send it to Jaimelyn and I, and we will work something out because we've been pushing this double bill idea for a while and we want to make it happen. So I know some brave soul has nothing to do on the 20th. Make it happen. Support local. One person
I know is out there who can make this happen. And you can do it for less than $50.
Yeah.
We have artist discounts. You have artist discounts. You can do this for such an inexpensive full day experience.
It's like
somebody's got to do it.
The price of one carton of eggs. Make it happen.
just one carton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Thank you again for carving out some time. And I hope you all have the most wonderful opening, and your run is just beautiful and wonderful and amazing, which I know it will be, but I'm hoping that for all of you.
Thank you for having me, Jaimelyn, and you as well. Happy opening to Deadly Holiday year 3 now.
Year 3. Yes. Yeah. We're right behind you. All right, my dude. Have a great day.
You as well.
All right. There you go. George Lorimer. What a great human being that man is. Very, very nice to talk to him about that wonderful production of All Is Calm. I saw it, I believe, 2 years ago, because time means absolutely nothing to me now. And so I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I'm hoping to sneak back in there and check it out, if I can get in there this weekend. Or I might go to, there's a performance on the 22nd, the Monday the 22nd. I think I might try to get there then, do some networking with some peoples, because that's always good. And so yeah, so check that out. Check out the other events from our companies that we have in the Milwaukee Theatre Alliance community. But just the point is, go out there and see some theater, people. Take your families to, not to Deadly Holiday, because Deadly Holiday is not a family show. But go to go to Joseph, go to, but the point is just go support local theater. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to make you a good person in this lifetime. Support local theater. And so there you go. So next week we're going to talk about Deadly Holiday, and I'm going to try and bring some persons on to have a little discussion about what we do in Deadly Holiday, so you can learn out more about that. But get your tickets. We're getting a little thin. We only have 4 shows. We just added a matinee, and so if you want to get in there, you should get in there. So that's what we got. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me this week on You've Got a Thing.